Hi friends, welcome to this aerial yoga class on transitions. Transitions are the movements between the poses and also the movements you take to change the hammock position on the body. Today, you'll be learning 5 ways to transition between different poses in the hammock. Practicing these transitions is going to help create a graceful, seamless flow to your hammock movements. This will also help you to think about ways you can join poses together in your own sequencing. Ready to learn the 5 transitions? Let's get started. So the first transition we're going through today is one of my favorites to add into any sequence. It's the transition between hip hang to revolved flourish, where you're going into a seated on the hammock. So let's come behind the hammock to get started. You're gonna come into your hip hang first. So you're pressing down and walking forward. If you're not familiar with your hip hang position, then you can see this video up above to check it out. So from your hip hang, your palms are facing in, thumbs are down. You're going to transition one hand to face the other way. So the palm will turn out, thumb face up, release the opposite hand to the front of your space. You're gonna bend, so the same hand that's gripping onto the hammock, the same leg bends, heel into the glute. Send that leg through the center as your hand slides down and look up to the hammock. Reach up with your free hand, so you change hand grip, and then you're gonna turn the hips to the front of the space, release that opposite hand. This is your revolved flourish here. To come into your seat, you're going to look up to the hammock, grab onto that same side. That free leg's gonna come through the center, changing hand grips as you come through and into your seat. Let's go through that one more time on the other side. So bringing feet onto the ground, face the hammock, pressing down and come into your hip hang. Reaching up with the hand grip as high as you can, chest shining forward. So opposite side this time. So reverse grip, the other side, palm face out, thumb up. Release the opposite hand. Bends that same leg that the hand grip is gripping, so same leg bends into the glute. Start to slide the hand grip down, the head comes towards the ground, look up as that free leg, that bent leg comes through. Pull up and reach up as high as you can, turning the hips to the front. That knee is gonna point to the ground. Release into your revolved flourish. Look up to the hammock, grip onto the same side. That free leg is gonna come through the center of the hammock. You can pull up into your seat, switching hand grip to each side of the hammock. Coming on out. Transition number 2. You're going to learn the chicken roll, so how to enter the hammock into an open hammock from standing. So you're going to grab that edge that's closest to you with the hammock, wave it on out so you open it all up. Bring your shoulders, so facing away from the hammock at the front of the hammock. Grab that edge. Your fingers are going to grip that front edge of the hammock underneath, and then you're going to bring it over the top of the shoulders. You're then going to take little chicken wings. So you've got your little chicken wings here. One chicken wing is going to come through the center into the open hammock and then around the front side. So you've got tension on the back side of the arm. Do the same thing on the other side. So that little chicken wing elbow comes through the center and then comes to the front side of that little tension bit. This is the hardest part, so you're gonna come lean forward and then start to walk back. So the head is coming underneath the plumb line. A lot of people here, if you've done your chicken roll before in a class maybe, a lot of people will stay with their hands here and start to try and flip their hips inside. So a lot of people will try and flip and just keep jumping and just getting tired. It doesn't feel very good. So the trick here is to extend your arms. So release the hand grip and extend the hands up the hammock. So you can grip up nice and high with extended arms. Chin into the chest, look back towards your thighs, so not looking out in front because you want to go, the gaze is going to take you in the direction you want to go, and that's going towards your belly button. Gripping up nice and high on the hammock, start to bend, soften through the knees, maybe lift the heels, prepare the body to take a little jump or bounce. When you're ready, take that little bounce, you're going to press into the hand grip. So the hand grip's going to help pull the hips over the top. So take a little bounce. Press up, use that hand grip to help propel that last little bit where you normally would get stuck, and come all the way inside of the hammock. Whoop. All the way inside for your open hammock shavasana or cocoon. Let's come out. Transition number 3, we're going to learn how to enter the hammock from standing, coming through a flip and landing in a hip hang. So come behind the hammock, let's watch me for the first round. So watching me, I'm flipping into the hammock, landing in hip hang. And hip hang. So let's do that together. Something to notice here, when you do drop down towards the ground, you can control it, you don't have to go fast. Notice before you do this, before you take that drop, come into your hip hang and notice if your head is going to touch the ground, because if you drop down and hit your head, you may hurt yourself. So know that just check that the head has got enough space, at least a couple of inches or more, so that your head doesn't hit the ground when you do drop down. Okay, doing it together. Noticing here, your hand grip is at eye level, so reaching up too high is going to make it too hard. So bring it down nice and close, wrap the elbows in towards the body, so keeping the strength in close to the body is going to make you stronger. You're going to tuck your knees into your chest. You can do one leg at a time, so maybe one leg at a time, step one leg back, tuck it in, looking down, and then slowly lower the hips onto the hammock, and then coming into your hip hang. Or you come through again and practice again. So again, let's do that one more time together. Hand at hip, hand at eye level, tuck the elbows in towards the body, one leg at a time, or maybe both legs this time. Tucking up into the little ball, pause, and then lower down, and coming into your hip hang. Transition number 4. This is where we're going to focus on how to transfer the hammock from a seated position below the glute to the lower back above the glute. So how to get it over that space where it can feel really challenging to get it over that section of the body. So to do that, the main thing that we would be focusing on to use this that you might have seen in previous videos is I'll demo it first. So you'll come into that forward fold shape, and then come into, you can choose either to come into a back belt or into a seat or underneath the shoulders, so above or below the glutes. So let's go above the glutes, landing the hips inside of the hammock. Not as much swinging as what I would be doing here. So doing that front flip and then landing the hammock position with control wherever you want it on the body. The main thing would be choosing whether you want it above the glutes or below the glutes. So let's practice that little transition of above and below the glutes first. Let's start in a seat. So bring your hammock below the glutes to begin with. Straightening the legs. Hand grip is at around eye level. You're going to transfer the hammock to above the glutes by dropping the feet towards the ground. Really control your body weight, bend the knees, and then send your body back. Feet will reach up to the sky. Obviously you can come into a straddle and invert here if you would like to, but we're just practicing the transition today. So looking to your toes, reach up nice and high with the hand grip. At the moment the hammock is above the glutes. If we want to bring it back below the glutes, you're going to bring the feet to towards the ground behind you. Slip the hammock over the glutes and then back through the center with the feet. So let's practice that a couple more times together. Coming almost into a camel, just to slip the hammock over the glutes, bend the knees, lower, and then send the heels up. And then transitioning back to below the glutes by sending the feet to the back of the space. So releasing that tension on the back of the body with the hammock, and sending the feet back through the center. One more time together. I know it's a lot on the hand grip and the core. Bend the knees, loosen it out, and send the body back, heels up. Keep reaching up, feet come towards the ground, and drive the heels through the center. So again, bring the hammock underneath the glutes. So using that same theory, it's okay if you didn't quite get it or you're still gonna practice this little section here. To build upon that theory, where we come into the flip part of it, when you come into your flip, let's think about being in this position here. So you wanna get into this position when you come into your flip. So just a little section here, because you've been in the almost inversion part of the movement before. So you're just trying to get that lift through the legs to get into that position. And then you can control where you want the hammock on the body as you bring the heels through. So the trick with this one is to come standing in front of the hammock. Hands are high, so a nice high grip of the hands, almost like you're in a half lift flat back, so you're not bringing the head all the way to the ground. Bring some activity into the hand grip, so maybe bend the elbows a little bit, act through the shoulders. Start to take a little bounce through the knees, chin away from the chest. And there's a lot of mental power here. You can do it, bring more weight into the hands. And you can feel the hammock where it is on the body as you lift the feet up. So I could feel it landing on my lower back as I came through. And then from here, you could bring the feet to the ground and come and transition it underneath the shoulders. Or you can keep it on the lower back and then start to come into lower back things from here. If we would like to have it underneath the glutes when you flip around, again, you can focus on the hand grip. Hand grip is nice and high. And then also feel where the hammock is on your lower back. So as you flip around, take a little bounce. I want to bring my feet, I want to focus on bringing my feet through the center of the hammock before my hips. So if I want my hips to land in the hammock, I'm going to focus on my hips more. Hips, hips, hips will come through first. If I want to focus on my feet, I'm going to focus on bringing my feet through first. So bring those feet through, feet through. So when you're controlling the flip and coming through, when your body is straighter and you're focusing on sending the feet through the center first, then you're able to miss that angle joint that is your glutes or your hips and sort of send it to the lower body. If you focus on the hips and keep that angle in the body so the feet are kind of pulling in towards the face more, then you can land the hips into the hammock, control it to come to the upper body. So let's watch again one more time, watching the angle of my hips as I come through. So I'm going to bring it to my lower body, below the glutes. So my feet come through and I miss that angle that my hips would land in. So if I bring more angle to my body and I land on my hips, then my hips are coming through first, creating a deeper angle. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's keep going into transition number 5. So transition number 5, you're going to come into a seat on the hammock. And from here, you're going to transition into a hip hang. So from seated to hip hang. Let's come through for a fish pose. So you're going to bring both hands to one side, bend the opposite knee in towards the chest. Start to lean away from the bent leg to the hand grip side of the body. And you're going to try and rest the hips into the hammock. So creating almost like a little ledge for the hammock to be caught in the hips. This particular transition is going to potentially create some bruising along the outer hip as the hammock rubs along that outer hip, outer thigh. So to combat that, what you want to try and do, because usually when you feel pain in the body, you start to curl in. But what you want to do is stay spread out. So the more that you curl in, the tighter you're making the grip upon the hammock with that part of your body. So it's going to be harder for it to create a smooth sort of transition. So if we create a smooth transition, you'll start to move to that hip hang position, straightening both legs, reaching up or bringing hands to the ground, down dog. And again, we can come into that very first transition for Revolved Flourish to seat, to come back. Let's do the other side from seated back into hip hang. Both hands over to the other side this time. Bend your opposite knee. Start to lean away from that bent leg, releasing one hand, that bottom hand. Lean the hips into the hammock. Keeping the hips nice and open, so don't grab the hammock with your hips. So nice and open through the hips. Start to turn the hips to the ground, bringing both hands onto the hammock, into your hip hang. And we'll come all the way up. So those were your 5 transitions, your 5 basic transitions with the hammock, so that you can start to play with joining different poses and sequences together, and also creating that seamless sequence where you can transfer the hammock to one part of the body to another without having to stop and restart. If you enjoyed this class, please let me know by hitting the thumbs up button down below. Plus, I would love to hear from you. Which was your favorite transition from today's class? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, have a beautiful day. I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.